The world will never be the same. Avengers Endgame is shattering records across the globe.
Part of the journey is the end.
Be a part of cinematic history.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Avengers Endgame, now playing.
What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to never miss any videos. So we are currently giving away a Hasbro Infinity Gauntlet at the end of this month. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel with notification on and drop an Avengers based comment down below. So during Avengers Endgame and Avengers Infinity War, there were a lot of potential scenes and potential plot points that were cut because it just didn't work out in the movie for various reasons. So recently, a lot of news has come out about what could have been in both of these epic movies. So Nova really could have been in this movie. A lot of fans want Nova for Phase 4. So Nova, aka Richard Rider, for his part has been long rumored to be joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Even Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige has indicated that the character might end up appearing sooner rather than later. So recently the writers explained that they have a 60-page document, has various ideas they pondered before sitting down to write the two epic films. Marcus distinctly remembers that Ryder was at one point part of the mix. I remember going through several scenarios of Nova. Marcus told THR Thanos could come and kill all the Nova Corps except one guy, Richard Rider, who then becomes, I think in this scenario he became the Herald, kind of like the Hulk was in Infinity War when he crashed into the Sanctorium. Someone who could come out and tell people. We had everything, Marcus continued, literally every variation we could think of, or that was sitting there in the comics untapped, with absolutely no value placed next to them. Ultimately, Nova was left on the shelf for Infinity War and Endgame, with Bruce Banner serving as the warning after he got throttled by Thanos earlier in the film and teleported back down to Earth. Fitting another character in would have been ambitious, but fans would have lost their minds if Nova had been set up here, and showing Thanos demolishing the Nova Corps would have set up the hero incredibly well, just like the comic. Thing is, you would have to then needed to find a way for him to be involved in the greater story at play, as they were already bringing in Captain Marvel once Endgame hit. Having it tied to Hulk just seemed to make it easier to keep the focus on the original 6 Avengers, but still, we can all dream. Now this is a shame because we didn't get to see the Power Stone being taken from Xandar, which would have been great for Nova himself to be introduced inside the MCU. Personally, they could have showed Nova in the post-credit scene for Avengers Endgame, which would have been the greater option in my opinion. Let me know down below, guys. Do you agree with this? Did you want to see Nova? I mean, it is interesting that the writers are coming out now and saying, yeah, they tried to include Nova, but ultimately it just didn't work. Like they said, there was a scene in Infinity War when the Living Tribunal randomly showed up on Titan and everyone's like, yo, who's this? So ultimately, Avengers Infinity War and Endgame could have been far greater. This is not a criticism. This is just me evaluating what they said. So also, the Endgame directors came out with a pretty funny scene that never ultimately made. So essentially, Fat Thor and Valkyrie had a scene. So they said this. But he had this beat with Valkyrie where she puts her armor on his shoulder and he sort of starts to lean in for a kiss. She goes, "What are you doing?" Thor is confused. "Oh, I thought that touch." And I was like, no, that was like a goodbye tap I was giving you. Anthony recalled it was really funny beat, but it was cut. It was really cute, Joe Russo added. It was mostly improvised by the two of them, which made it funny, very funny. So Fat Thor goes for a kiss with Valkyrie, which would have been insanely intensely funny, ultimately getting rejected after he just gave Asgard to her. So imagine this scene playing out. It would have been so funny. So essentially, Fat Thor would have been embarrassed during a scene where he tried to kiss Valkyrie, which would have been insanely funny in my opinion. So the Russos also revealed on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast where Catherine Langford's involvement in this movie actually came and why the said scene was ultimately cut from the movie. Joe Russo said this: "There was an idea that we had that Tony was going to go into a metaphysical way station that Thanos goes into when he snapped his fingers, and that there was going to be a future version of his daughter in that way station." He continues, "The intention was that his future daughter, because these films are dealing with magical, forgave him and sort of gave him peace to go. The idea felt reasonable, but it was just too many ideas in a overall complicated movie. The scene was to set up a full circle dealing with something that was very similar to when Thanos did the snap and he was in a different realm or within the Soul Stone, talking to a child version of Gamora. As to another reason why the scene ended on the cutting floor room, this is what Joe Russo had to say. What we realized about it was we didn't feel an emotional association with the adult version of his daughter. So it wasn't ringing to us and the rationality or reasoning with us on an emotional level. It's just a shame they had to cut this scene, to be honest, because I think it would have been a pretty damn awesome scene to see. So this is just 3 of the deleted scenes, and obviously that would have been an Iron Man scene. So it would have been a different Iron Man scene. It would have been so iconic and so epic, and I understand why he said it would have been no emotional connection and already making the movie more complicated than it had to be, because although these movies are primarily watched by adults, a very big portion of the population demographic is teenagers, is people the age 8 to 15. So you have to make movies that absolutely everyone can understand. But this would have been so cool, and it just seems a bit pointless to me that they advertised Catherine Langford to be in the movie, then ultimately she wasn't. So guys, let me know, what did you think about these deleted scenes we've been talking about? Did you like the fact that they could have introduced Nova, but ultimately they didn't, which is a shame, but it's also a positive because James Gunn, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, obviously Richard Rider is the last surviving character of that core, so maybe he's gained all the powers like he did in the comics, and maybe they could introduce Nova during Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. As we know, they will go looking for the 2014 variation of Gamora. Adam Warlock's supposed to be in the movie, so it would be pretty interesting for them to introduce both Nova and also Adam Warlock. If they do own the rights to Nova, I'm pretty sure Marvel do own most of the rights to Nova, so I don't think it'd be very hard for Disney to get rights to Nova, because let's be honest, they got all the rights to all the X-Men, Fantastic Four and all that kind of stuff. I'm not really sure who owns the rights to Nova, but it is a shame that we could have been introduced to another awesome character and it could set off a new franchise. It has been rumored that one of the Marvel slots in Phase 4 will be for Nova having his standalone movie, so it would be pretty cool if there was a callback to how Xandar got destroyed and he's the living survivor of the Nova Corps. That would be very cool. But it's also a shame that we didn't get to see it during Endgame or Infinity War. I really would have loved Nova to turn up on Earth randomly. But also, it's worth noting that, as I said previously, Josh Brolin's contract for Thanos is loose, so it's movie to movie. So maybe we could get a flashback scene where Thanos is fighting Nova, the last survivor, and he has to flee, and that is how Thanos could get another movie. We know Thanos will appear during the Eternals movie, but also Captain Marvel, wouldn't she know who Nova is already? That would be also another interesting person to connect Nova to Captain Marvel. That would be pretty cool. There is so much potential moving forward with Marvel Phase 4. I really can't wait. But also, guys, did you want to see Thor kiss Valkyrie or try to? It would have been hilarious. I really want to know what you guys think about that deleted scene down below. And also, did you want to see the future older version of Morgan Stark being played by Catherine Langford? But the problem is, if they're ever going to turn Morgan Stark into essentially Iron Girl or the female version of Iron Man, Ironheart, they can't really do it with that character because obviously Endgame ends in 2023 and obviously she's like a 5-year-old, so I don't think that character would become Ironheart until at least 15, 16, around Spider-Man's age. So it's going to be maybe 10 years until they can introduce a new Ironheart, unless they introduce a character or unless someone like Shuri does become Ironheart, like I have said on the channel before. Very interested to hear what you guys have to say about everything that we said in this video. We will be changing things up in the next few weeks on this channel. The production value will be going up. I really am trying to change the content, keeping it Marvel related, but upping the quality. I do listen to all your comments down below, guys, so let me know what you think about this Marvel deleted scenes video. Really interested to find out what you guys actually think. So like always, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment, and I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch ya later.